when you're young like this and you can do this kind of thing, we're not getting too much versatility in a sound. It's a lot of just those high, really impressive belting sounds and a lot of that like light head voice stuff, which is incredibly amazing. And like that's the core of his technique right here, which is amazing to hear, and it's thrilling and it's expressive. Hey, real quick, I just want to welcome you to the Big Brain Singer channel, where singers and music lovers come together. I'm Charlie, and my goal is to share my knowledge of singing and love of music with as many people as possible. If you want to be the first to experience reactions just like this one, please join us on Twitch, links down below, Monday, Wednesday at 11:30 a.m. Eastern Time. And if you yourself are an aspiring singer and want a mini voice lesson from me, I hold a free and open vocal clinic every Friday at 11:30 a.m. Eastern as well. So make sure to join our community Discord server. Links are also down below. To join hundreds of music lovers like yourself and to stay updated on community events. I hope to see you there, and I hope you enjoy this reaction and analysis. All right.
Very nice.
Next up. Oh, Aida requested this. Loïc Nottet, Million Eyes. And thank you for the $6.09 tip. You would think that's a meme, but it's actually currency switch from euros to dollars, which is hilarious. Fox is a tenor, Tao. He's an operatic tenor. All right, this is, I hope I'm pronouncing it right, Loïc Nottet, Million Eyes. Never heard him before. Let's get this bread. Thank you, Cosmic.
Away, get away, you're such a freak. It's what people say to me. Different, too different. I'm scared of judgment. Your insults and your slander stick on to me.
All right. This is a sick voice because he's obviously, you know, beyond his voice shift as a guy, right? As a male voice. And he is singing this like perfectly balanced mixed space, which if you have any type of like lower sitting voice, which I wouldn't say he doesn't because I haven't heard him speak, it's just like a very naturally
threading that needle.
Yeah, we call it threading the needle. You want to describe that a little bit? Like needle?
Yeah, I mean, you know, I sometimes kind of when you're up top, it sort of helps to visualize this like almost a small place that your voice is kind of being focused through to avoid any kind of spread or you know, any kind of like splattered sound. It keeps kind of the focus and like the point of the voice going forward as though you're threading a needle.
Right. Yeah, Aida, this is definitely like in the context of the song, definitely doesn't sound like the top of his voice by any means. But it is a relatively like we call it the tessitura, which is like the general, it's basically called like the average of range. It's high. The tessitura for what he's singing is high because this is clearly the beginning of the song. It's mellow. This is obviously not the highest he's going to sing. But like Jack said, he's like threading the needle. He's keeping the voice in a very narrow area without much variation that allows him to stay very like light and head voicey in this part of his range. And obviously for him, it's like consistent enough to where it's like kind of his average where he approaches.
Yeah, and I'd like to clarify too. I think you could still thread the needle, you know, no matter where you are in your range. I've sort of misspoke. It doesn't have to be at the top. You know, a lot of people, I mean, it's just a feather in your cap, you know?
Yeah, like being able to thread the needle is like saying you're staying with one vocal color consistently. And like when we talk about Floor Jansen doing it, when she does those straight tones, I forget what the song is, but there was like one part where she just does straight tones and they're just really long, like even sounds. There's no vibrato, there's nothing. It's just very even, pure, clear tones and then she goes up her entire range, keeping that color, keeping the sound very consistent, and she's threading the needle. Like the difficulty of doing that is like the equivalent of putting the like tiny thread through the little needle hole. It's like takes that much focus and like pureness, right?
Also, I agree with you, Wither.
Yeah. Oh my god. He's working well at transmitting tones. Not gonna give much credit for transmitting words though. Yeah, so diction is a thing. He's singing in like that style like Adele. Like you're not gonna get that equivalent. It's you're not gonna get diction as the quality. It's more about what I would call an idea like vocal disability. He's transmitting things like vocal cracks, like vocal grittiness, like it's passive vocal grittiness.
Yeah, it's like a feeling. And to his credit, you know, there's a lot of songs like this that they're not really meant to be. I mean, that's like every phrase is like a word or two. You know what I mean? It's like it's kind of meant to almost be broken up and for you to listen to it differently. So
yeah, it's about the general emotion and also just the color of the voice. But yeah, English is not even his first language, and with that being the case, it's very good English. But stylistically, you know, the poetry of the music is not really the key. And yes, Matrix and Wither, Dead Boy's poem. That's exactly and G-Zin, yeah. Dead Boy's Poem was the song I'm talking about at the end when she does those straight tones. That's the idea of threading the needle and just keeping the sound like scarily, impressively consistent. That's what threading the needle is. So, all right, before we get into the chorus, let's hear the end of this.
Stick on to me. Yes, with your million eyes, you watching me. You talk behind my back, you spy on me. So I scream and shout to make you leave, but you still here, you keep judging me. With your million eyes.
That's really high. See, Tao, that's, you know what I'm talking about, Tao. Now you know what I'm talking about. Anyway, guys, this is like that idea of vocal disability that I just brought up, taking those qualities of that the voice has after it's been exhausted, after it's been used improperly, quote unquote, that's not the healthiest way, and then the transformation of the voice that happens when it's strained, right? It's being used artistically, like the swelling of the chords, the way his voice is cracking. It's maybe this isn't his ideal. This is a live competition, so maybe he wasn't in the best place vocally, but he's using the color of the sound of a damaged vocal cord, not detrimentally damaged, but a tired vocal cord, and he's using those sounds that are naturally produced for an artistic purpose, right? I mean, you do a lot of like singer-songwriter stuff, and you kind of will sometimes use things like that, like little like cracks and little like grittiness. Yeah,
of course. I mean, there's always, I mean, who knows what the context is? I mean, there's so many variables. And like you said, I mean, and you know, another thing that people don't, you know, that I certainly didn't think about is like when you have an accompaniment that's very sparse, you know, you don't feel that same support. And so you're kind of like, I mean, he's out in the open, like completely exposed. So we're hearing every little tiny thing, you know, which is like almost unfair, you know, because everybody's going to have, you know, some little, you know, cracks or something fall through a little bit. But no, I mean, the kind of confidence and, you know,
like the sense of abandon it takes just to like go out and do it.
Throw it up there like that.
Yeah, I mean, it's the voice itself is incredibly impressive because it's a really warm sound. It's not like tight or anything. It's a really warm sound. And it's really high, and for a male voice to do that, it's amazing. And I mean, but yeah, whether you're right, like doing it so bad that it's good, like that's kind of what it is. This is like what Adele is really well known for. And I mean, not to like take anything away from this, but Adele had to get voice surgery like 3 times. Mm-hmm. But, you know, as an artist, you're allowed to weigh the pros and cons of if your singing is taxing on your voice, but you're expressing the way you want to express and you're doing something that people can identify with and connect with, then that's like your right to choose. And there's nothing wrong with that at all. Like it's super, super impressive to watch an artist. You know, we watched someone like Kyo with Suka Kyo, or what was that band? They were doing like In All Weathers. That was a recent upload on YouTube. And that's a great example, that Japanese band, of someone who will literally destroy their voice for the sake of their own artistic expression, right? I do need some water though. You're right, guys. But yeah, let's keep hearing it. This is really impressive singing.
Drowning, I'm drowning in that clown's mask to make you laugh at my thousand flows alone. When I'm all alone, I take my smile off, but
100% Emmy Chen.
What's left? 'Cause with your million eyes, you watching me. You talk behind my back, you spy on me. So I scream and shout to make you leave, but you still here, you keep judging me. With your million eyes,
Yeah. I love it. Malitic, what you just said really stands out. You love that technique, and it is technique because it's something he does so consistently that serves his artistic expression. Like, regardless of why or what's good or not, you know, we don't talk about that. We don't talk about like what's best. We don't talk about what's like worse. We don't talk about things in quantitative like amounts in singing.
It's all relative, right, to the individual.
It's all relative to the individual. Thanks, Cosmic. I love you guys are getting this meme now. It's so funny. I'll explain it to you later. It's a whole thing.
Tell me what.
Yeah. But yeah, I mean, it's a really impressive technique because it's unique and it's expressive, and it's really, quite frankly, very impressive to hear someone do this kind of thing. Someone's like drilling into the wall next door. The best. So he's singing in a way that has like a lot of vocal pressure, right? He's using a lot of air to create like a sound that has that straight tone. It has that strain in it that we like to hear, that's exciting to hear. And the reason that I would call it like a really good technique in a way, like a good proven technique, is because the sound's not going flat. If someone were not as good, Fox, if someone didn't say, or if his notes were going flat at all, then it would be like not impressive. If someone were trying to do this and their notes were like slightly under pitch and it was sounding like, that would be an example of not using this technique properly. But everything's on pitch. Everything is, the tone is consistent. That is what good technique is. Yeah, even if it does sound kind of like not necessarily the healthiest sound for the voice, it's good because it's doing the only real responsibilities of a singer is to sing the right pitch and sing like the right with a consistent tone when sing the tone that you intend, rather, I should say. All right.
'Cause with your million eyes, you're watching me.
Whoa.
You talk behind my back, you spy on me. So
Whoa.
I scream and shout to make you leave, but you still here. 'Cause with your million eyes, you're watching me. You talk behind my back, you spy on me. So I scream and shout to make you leave, but you still here. You keep judging me. No, no, no.
Like doing so many high belts like that with so much like grit and power in it.
Yeah, and then to be able to transition, you know, like up there, and then to turn around and do the exact same note in his head voice in the falsetto, you know, that to me signifies that, you know, he's definitely doing something right here. I mean, you know, you can't have like throw that up with reckless abandon and then, you know, float it at the same time and it work as well as it's working right now if you're not doing something right. So props to this guy.
It's a really intense technique. He's obviously not like, I don't know how old he is, probably like, you know, late teens, mid 20s at like the oldest, maybe. Yeah, he has his larynx. He has his larynx in a relaxed position. It's being pressurized, but it's not being like raised in an unhealthy way because nothing's tightening. That's why I said earlier he has like a warm tone. He's singing in a way with all this energy that like we compared to young Floor Jansen earlier. Like when you're young like this and you can do this kind of thing, we're not getting too much versatility in a sound. It's a lot of just those high, really impressive belting sounds and a lot of that like light head voice stuff, which is incredibly amazing. And like that's the core of his technique right here, which is amazing to hear, and it's thrilling and it's expressive. And he's 24 now. He's 21 or 22 in the video, right? He's 21. And then I'm interested to hear how his voice changes as he goes forward. Now, I wouldn't say his technique is as healthy as a young Floor Jansen or that they sing anything close to the same music or style. But what I want to hear is how, mental maturity, how physical maturity in the voice and the body changes the voice over time. Just keep that in mind. Like, really, it would be interesting to hear like a more recent recording, but like Aida, this is like top tier singing. Like, I don't know. I wonder how he did in the competition because this is like, this is such a powerful, emotional voice. Like the emotion in this sound is so unique and powerful. You're not old.
Loïc Nottet, Million Eyes, et puis
Merci beaucoup.
la magie opère. Merci Denis au piano. La magie opère dans ce studio grâce à vous, Loïc. Mille merci pour les millions d'yeux qui regardent.
He finished second at the voice competition in Belgium. He won Dancing with the Stars. He's actually a dancer, composer, and singer. He finished fourth at the Eurovision singing for Belgium. Wow. Yeah. So, obviously, like, I think for me, like, after hearing that whole thing, the most impressive part is the fact that he can get so loud and so resonant and big at the top, and then he can pull it back and get, like, so soft and sensitive at other parts. Like, super, super impressive.
Yeah. No, you hit the nail right on the head. I would love to hear what else he can do, like in terms of his other music. I assume, is that an original by him? Or
did he write that himself, Aida? Because that was like, if he's a composer, I would assume he probably just sings his own music.
Love to hear like other facets of his voice.
Yeah.
See how it all kind of works together. Yeah.
Yeah.
Very cool.
Super cool. Super, super sweet. Thank you for suggesting that. It was awesome. Wow, you're still here. If you did enjoy the video, I want to invite you to check out my Patreon page where I offer multiple tiers of perks for both aspiring singers as well as music lovers who want to take their listening skills to the next level. Also, I do need to say it, like 90% of the people who watch my videos aren't subscribed to the channel. It really doesn't take much. Can you please just press the little button down there? If you made it this far, you probably fit in right with the rest of the people who are the Big Brain community. Anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.